If you move Raceway Park, will you maintain a presence there in some way other than the OTB, or would there be anything preventing another owner from coming in and establishing a park again just in your backyard for your casino?
I can't answer that question. I don't know what other interests may be, but our time here today in front of the Ohio Racing Commission was to talk about the potential for relocating our tracks to new locations in the state, and that is entirely contingent upon VLTs.
Would you be able to maintain some presence there that would prevent a competitor from coming in, from getting a permit?
I couldn't answer that question. I don't know.
Have you any talks with Governor Newsom's administration making confident that there will be VLTs?
We have not yet started any dialogue with the new governor's administration. We are reaching out to the governor's office, and I know the governor's got a lot on his hands getting in place here in Columbus. We've been told the first thing that has to happen is they're trying to establish Ohio Gaming Commission to allow the regulation of the land-based casinos, and that hopefully soon we'll be able to begin that dialogue with his administration. But we today have not had any dialogue and have no indication of where the governor is on VLTs.
Talk about the time.
VLTs will keep both tracks open.
Excuse me, sir?
Without VLTs, we keep both raceway and VLTs.
Yeah, under the current conditions with no VLTs authorized at the racetracks, it's our intent to keep Beulah and Raceway Park in operation as is.
Even if you continue to lose money?
Well, we're breaking even. We're not losing money. We're not making money. It's a break-even operation.
Can you just clarify what assurance do you need on VLTs in order to move forward? What exactly do you want?
Well, there's a number of different ways. It can be done through an executive order, which Governor Strickland tried to do back in 2009. We certainly would like some assurances from the courts that executive order passes constitutional muster. There's also legislative action that could happen. There's also a statewide referendum that could happen, so the voters could decide this issue. Those are all possibilities, and it's really in the hands of the state lawmakers here in Ohio to determine how they want to play that hand.
So bottom line, no VLTs, Raceway Park, Beulah Park stays put.
Yes, that is correct.
Without repetition, what is your response to the opposition that you're hearing?
How much revenue would the state of Ohio get by these moves? So there's additional revenue.
In our proposal, the racing industry would get approximately, again, assuming a 5% per supplement, would get $18 million more annually, and the state of Ohio would get close to over $200 million annually through increased business levels and the taxes on the VLTs at a 50% level. Again, that number was over $200 million.
You were just talking when I got here about the other tracks, some of the complaints that were voiced. Was there anything, should you have notified them ahead of time? 11 of the guys said he's in Florida, got this, hit him like a lightning bolt or whatever it was.
Well, again, we wanted to go public with our intentions. There's nothing to act upon today. There is no VLT legislation or authorization. We wanted to make public our intentions. We wanted to present an opportunity to the state of Ohio and the Racing Commission. We obviously knew that there'd be some consternation from existing operators that wouldn't be received very well, and we didn't feel that there was any need at this time to bring them in the loop. We're going public today. We know there's going to be a lot of dialogue going forward among the operators, among the state, among the racing interests here in the state, to try to sort all this out, and we just want to be part of the dialogue.
And your attorney, it's a little hard for us to hear as to whether it would be a new permit or a transfer. I understood him to say that he would have to figure that out.
Yeah, he'd have to figure that out. I guess the last time this happened was in 1959, from what I understand. So there's still some lawyering that needs to be done on what the right process is.
Okay.
If you manage to get VLT some kind of approval this year, what's your time frame on this? When would we actually see horses racing in Youngstown?
Oh, well, if VLTs got passed this year, looking at a construction timetable, most likely somewhere in 2013.
Would that be the same for the Dayton track?
Yeah, about the same time.
You're looking to put in VLTs first and then getting the horses after that, or?
Well, it all depends on what gets authorized. If there's the requirement that the track has to be built in conjunction with the VLT operation, then probably early 2013. If something could be expedited, it possibly could be sooner.
Do you have other Racinos?
Many.
Have you had them with just VLTs and then been able to add table games games later?
That's exactly what just happened in 2011 in the state of West Virginia and the state of Pennsylvania. Those operations opened up as just slot machines, and then the state allowed the introduction of table games later at lower tax rates. So we opened up table games at Penn National outside of Harrisburg in July of 2010, and we opened up table games just coincidentally in Charlestown, West Virginia at our Racino there in July of 2010 as well.
Would that be your hope at these facilities also, that you would eventually be able to add table games?
It seems to be the path that states eventually get to, that have authorized slot machines first, and then down the road, when they get comfortable with the operations, then tables come next. That's been the pattern that other states have adopted, and I wouldn't be surprised 10, 12, 8 years down the road if that's what happens here in Ohio, if they do allow VLT authorization.
Okay.
On the timetable issue, if we're talking about 2013, would that mean two more, like at Beulah with their fall-winter season, would that mean two more full seasons in Grove City, perhaps, before?
Perhaps. It's tough to determine the timing of all this.
And I'm not quite sure how it works with permitting, but would Beulah be run continuously until the relocation, or would there be any potential for any sort of shutdown or anything?
I got to go back to Lebanon.
Sorry I disrupted your vacation. My apologies.
I wanted to be sure we'll see each other.
See each other. We'll definitely talk. Take care. Good to see you. What happened?